Fam over.
Fam, what's good? What's good? This your boy Thou, FamOverTV. I appreciate everybody tapping into the channel, showing love, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, stopping by. I appreciate everybody. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is always advised. We got another good one today, y'all. Crazy video I seen on people preserving their body for the future. I guess like they say they getting a second chance at life and everything, but we got more stuff too we go check out. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday. You know, everybody that celebrate the holiday. Yesterday it was crazy. Crazy fireworks, everything. It was super crazy. Hope everybody had a good time enjoying their family and, you know, good energy around and everything. But salute to everybody. What's up, Angela? What's up, Dennis? We go get straight into this content early on this Good Friday. And this day 91, y'all. Day 91. No smoking. I mean, I went cold turkey, still standing on business. Feeling real good. I ain't gonna front, but let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let me explain to you how the system works. So the first thing is they want us to be in jobs, J-O-Bs, because there they can transduce our most valuable resource, which is our time on the planet. Our effort, but our time on the planet. They can take that non-renewable resource, by the way, and transduce it into a debt instrument, Federal Reserve notes. Things worth, they're not actually worth nothing. They're actually debt instruments. They're IOUs. And the rate of exchange for our time is so low, such that they can make a great deal of profit off of leveraging our time so that the companies make money and we make very little for what our time is really worth. Then do they pay you your full measure? No, they take half of it out as withholding on taxes that are unconstitutionally levied against us to take away even more of that labor transduced into worthless units, only to return it over a year later after inflation has made it even less valuable. Then we spend what's left and have to pay an additional sales tax, 7 to 8, 9, 10%. And one of my favorites is that even before we get those dollars, they take our money and put it aside for a retire in an IRA or a 401k. And we think that someday in the future, the IRS will honor its word and that we'll get that money back without tax. And the IRS has stated plainly that they'll change those rules on a whim, even though they said they can't be changed. Even if they did honor their word, by the time you get it back, it won't have even made up the value that inflation was degrading it in the first place, and you've lost money. You might as well have just taken the tax hit. And then the pièce de résistance is that media cons us into thinking that we can have the riches of avarice by putting what's left of our money after all the expenses and taxes into a market that is designed to take our money and recycle it. And the best part about that is that we can't really deduct those losses more than $3,000 a year, and we will take up to 40% tax hit on the capital gains. Oh yes, and the more money you make, the more it's taxed. Does this seem like a fair system to you?
Hell no, that's not no fair system, man. They got us all out here. Everybody. Especially everybody that's paying taxes and everything, man. They got us by the chokehold right now. Salute to everybody in the building. What's up? Angela, Dennis, John, what's good, fam? But that sounded about right to me. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep us all controlled and everything. So that sound about right to me. Say you was bumping that Kendrick. I can't get that song out of my head. When I be going to sleep, that damn beat be playing in my head. It's so crazy. What's up, Nudie? Let's keep it going, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button too.
Somebody show me where in the Constitution this fucking government has the right to demand an independent private citizen do business with an independent third-party corporation like car insurance. It's bullshit. The Supreme Court has upheld our right to travel. We pay for the roads through gas tax, and the roads would be in great condition if they didn't steal all the fucking money. You know, just like our wage earner taxes that aren't supposed to be taxed. It's the rich people who make money without working that should be paying for shit. Let them fucking pay for the insurance, and let them pay for uninsured motorists. Turn around. Let's say you got 2 cars, you're working on one. You should have one fucking tag. I've been collecting all the information that shows the Supreme Court shows your right of travel to be a right they can't license, tax, or charge a fee to. I'm going to release all that information before the election. Let's stop getting fucked by the government and car insurance.
You shapeshift every night. Every night we go to sleep, and nobody questions where do we go. I've often asked, do you punch a ticket? Do you have a transfer? What vehicle do you use? How much fuel does it take? And where do you go? Everybody on earth that has a soul sleeps. Unless you're very refined, and even then you may sleep at least once a month. Sleep merely means that your body can no longer hold the soul because it's run out of energy. And the body becomes so despicably horrible to the soul that until it cleans up itself, the soul leaves. So each night you die. You will die every 3 days, or you will die standing up. People go to sleep standing up. People had guard duty, just go and sleep. They'll still be with you, you know, they're still there. But you have to go to sleep because the energy in your body is not strong enough to maintain you. So you have to get out so the body can renew itself. You, as a soul, go out and receive some energy, jump back into the body, and then you go. Now, if that is the case, then you have to ask, what trip did you take? Where did you go? What is the action? And what is the reaction? That is another whole case of study. But I simply say, each night we die. So death is only death when it's final, for what we think is final. When we die each night, we're going to be reborn. If not, then you got obsequies, funerals, and everybody's mourning. If you do, hey, you made it back. But sometimes we get back with trace memories. We have a dream. I said, oh, I had a REM state, and a rapid eye movement state, and I dreamed this, and I dreamed it. It seemed so real. It was real. Because you got out of the false reality, which doesn't exist on this planet, to the real reality that does off this planet, where you came from. That's why many people don't like to return. Many people get lost out in space and consciousness. This is why when you start talking about the speed of something, it's incalculable, the speed of something on a planet like this, because this planet is so low in vibration. Wow. Speed of light, speed of sound, no such thing. It doesn't exist in the internal world that is external to the Creator. Only exists then. When you're next to the Creator, there is no such thing as time. So for a soul, there's no time. But time it must remember when it comes back into the body, and that's when you say, I don't know how long I was asleep. I don't know where I went. Man, it was so real was there, because you really became real. Here is a confinement. Here is where you're here to do one thing, learn. And then the time is to show what you've learned and what you're willing to practice.
Hey, how many of y'all believe that? Do y'all think that's what be happening when we be going to sleep and everything? But I can't front, you know, speaking on dreams, ever since I stopped smoking, I've been having so many dreams, and sometimes them dreams do be feeling and seeming so real, you know what I'm saying? And I wake up and I'm like, damn, that shit was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like super real dreams. Like crazy. I can't even explain it, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I wake up, be trying to remember, and I can't remember everything that happened in the dream, just a little bit. But salute to everybody in the building. What's up, Angel Power, Sirius, DJ, what's good? Let's keep it going. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Hey, what up everybody? So I've been kind of dropping some knowledge on how the hot dog supplies and McDonald's meat might have a correlation with the amount of homeless people and kids missing. And I came across a video by a young lady that was asked the question of, did you used to live by a cemetery? And she said yes. When she was a small gal, she lived next to a cemetery. And she thought next door was like a barbecue restaurant. Turns out it was a crematorium, right? But as a kid, she would walk to school and, you know, back and forth. And throughout the day, when they would cremate the bodies,
Oh my God.
she thought it was barbecue. Yeah, barbecue. She said it smelled like a sweet barbecue kind of smell, and the smoke would come out or whatever.
It probably was.
And she found out later that it was a crematorium. They're humans. People are being burnt, and it smells like sweet barbecue. So it turns out, in America, we're completely loaded with sugar, fats, processed food, just all kinds of, you know, stuff in our food. And we intake the most amount of sugar of any human on the planet and at any point of time in history.
I believe
right? So when you're fat, overweight, they throw you in the oven to turn you into ashes. That sugar and all the processed chemicals puts off a smell like sweet barbecue, which that triggered my brain, and I realized it's the story of Hansel and Gretel, y'all. These aren't just fairy tales, they're telling you the truth. And as a kid, they already told you, but they repackaged it as, oh, it's just a fairy tale. Don't go into strangers' houses. Yeah, number one, it's true. But they're also telling you that they're feeding you, stuffing you with all kinds of sugars and chemicals to make it taste good. And so why does the FDA tell you that 2% of all hot dogs has human DNA? And how much is in the McDonald's? How much is in the Burger King and Wendy's and all these fast food joints, right? Missing people, missing small ones, about over 300,000 grinded up and turned into hot dogs or turned into McDonald's? I don't know. But that's the story of Hansel and Gretel, y'all, so be wary. I wouldn't eat that stuff. It gets crazy. Alright, y'all. Take care.
Hey, that's crazy. Said the girl was walking by the cremation spot, and she thought it was barbecue. They was cremating bodies, and I understand what he's saying because, man, I ain't gonna lie, food, sugar, especially sugar and sweets, man, that's like one of the top addictions. That shit beating out heroin, crack, weed, everything, sugar. Cause I be trying to stop, and I can't. Like, I gotta have me a chocolate chip cookie or something. I be trying to, you know, switch it with fruits and shit like that. But it's like, man, they set us up, man. The food industry over here is so damn fucked up, and we be eating it, and they giving us all this processed stuff and sugars and fake sugars and everything. It's crazy, y'all. I used to eat crazy. I mean, I just slowed down a lot. But every once in a while, I get those cravings. Like, man, I gotta give me something sweet. Like, I don't be eating like too much candy. I don't eat none of that type of shit. But every once in a while, I gotta have me something sweet. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is it. And not no fruit. I be needing something else. But you gotta take breaks, eating, fasting, and everything. I used to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't do none of that no more. And I used to weigh over 200 pounds. I weigh like 172 right now, so let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going.
If World War III occurs, please stay away from...
Oh yeah, salute to my dog Adam. Much love, fam. San Antonio in the building. He see that David Robinson.
the following areas. Firstly, Seattle, Washington. Seattle has numerous military bases, including the Kitsap Naval Base, one of the most critical naval bases in the United States, housing a significant portion of the Pacific submarine fleet. Other countries may attempt to destroy these submarine bases, resulting in destruction and civilian casualties. Secondly, Honolulu, Hawaii. due to the presence of many military bases, including Pearl Harbor, which serves as the headquarters of the United States Pacific Fleet. Hawaii is geographically distant from the other states of the U.S., potentially making it challenging for mainland military support to reach Hawaii promptly in the event of invasion by other countries. Of course, there's also Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk is an area with very active military operations, boasting the world's largest naval base and the Pentagon. Situated along the Atlantic coast, it could become a target for attacks from Europe or neighboring countries, leading to civilian casualties. Stay vigilant at all times and share this information with friends to brainstorm countermeasures together.
I hope we don't see that day. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like it was getting closer. Yeah, Nudie said high fructose corn syrup. I do not eat no high fructose corn syrup. And I know that's bad for you because, I mean, it's most stuff too that be bad, but nothing. And they got high fructose corn syrup and everything, y'all. Like, we got to get the organic and natural, like ketchups and all that type of stuff because they put high fructose corn syrup in everything. Drinks. Got to get your drinks. If you drinking soda or something, try to get some with some real cane sugar. You know, so I remember for a while when I was drinking soda, I would always get the Mexico Cokes, the ones in the glass bottle, because they didn't have a high fructose corn syrup in it and all that. So, but let's keep it going, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. And we got to be safe out here. Y'all see, they talking about World War III and all this type of stuff and everything. I hope we don't see it, but the way the world going, you never know. Let's get it.
Association has already licensed, copyrighted the word cancer. It's a copyrighted trade name of the American Medical Association. And only one of their licensed practitioners can use it. Now, maybe your Coca Cola tastes better. Maybe it's cheaper. Maybe it's more healthful. But without the Coca Cola bottling company's license, it's a contract violation. You can't make Coke. Now, you can make Gordon Cola or Johnson Cola, but you can't make Coca Cola. Can you understand that? You can treat the botch of Egypt, but not cancer. Cancer is a copyrighted trademark.
Wow.
It's a monopoly. And it's against the law for you to interfere in somebody else's business monopoly because they pay an income tax on the joint venture with the government. And it produces $165 billion a year
for cancer treatment.
In the United States. That's what
that's why they put all the crazy stuff in the food, causing cancers and everything. They want people to be sick, y'all. And let me keep it going, allegedly, because y'all know the big pharma, they don't be playing. They might get mad when we get to talking shit about them. We got to be smooth, but y'all hear what he's saying. Make sure y'all hear.
Income tax is all about. Government does not need your money to function. They have all the credit in the world. They need to tax your wealth so that you cannot compete with General Electric. Now, what we're really dealing with here is religion. Perhaps you've heard it said that there is a clear distinction between religion and the state. I think that was a misstatement. I don't believe it for a moment. I think the state is organized religion, and I want to show you now on the board what happens in the state when you are dealing with the George Orwell symptom or the concept that he used called doublespeak and doublethink. If I told you that this is a blackboard and this is a podium, and I said, look on the podium and see the words I've written, you'd say, this man's a lunatic. Obviously, he's writing on the blackboard and speaking from the podium. What we do is we change the definitions of words over a period of time so that wages today are income. But when you go to an old law dictionary like Bouvier or Black's First or Second, you find that wages are property, and property isn't assessed or taxable. So where it came in was with the enabling clause of Social Security, in which the Social Security Act says in the enabling clause, for the purposes of this act, the following definitions shall apply. Wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts shall be construed as income. You go to the public schools and they teach you to deal in wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts. And then, of course, the government comes along and says, out of your own mouth, you've admitted that this is a tip. Out of your own mouth, you've admitted that this is a gift.
Wow.
Aren't these wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts always paid in dollars? If they were paid in gold, silver, wheat, corn, beans, honey, and oil, they'd be property and non-taxable. Now let me show you about our judicial system that Eustace Mullins brought up.
Man, they got
He
us
said
in
it
a
was a
trick
little
bag.
corrupt. Yeah, I'll go along with that. There's a little corruption there. But more importantly than that, it's a religious system that comes from Exodus 18 and Exodus 21. It is the judicial system that was established by Moses. Not because Moses was corrupt do we say our judicial system today is corrupt, but because the system today is a perversion of the Levitical priesthood, which is now called the civil service.
You guys remember when...
Man, they got us in a trick bag, y'all. I swear. What's up, B. Harvey? Adam, everybody. What's up, everybody? Genesis. Salute to everybody in the building. But y'all hear how he talking? Prince, you hear? Fam, do you hear him? Did y'all hear what he was saying? They setting us up, y'all. And then they be using us. Like we be consenting to stuff with words and doing all that type of stuff where it's like they be tricking us, y'all, to make things that's supposed to be illegal, legal. Because they make us, say it, consent to it with a word or something. Like, oh, didn't you just, like, man. And then y'all see how the doctors and everybody doing, like they creating, I ain't gonna say the doctors, but what the world doing to us, our government, you know, they got us eating all type of crazy stuff, causing these cancers. Then they got to treat the cancer, and they making all that money. That's where they're making all the money at. So that's why they want everybody sick, and they want everybody to stay sick. So, but you'll be better off trying to heal yourself naturally. You feel me? Just stop eating for a few days or something. Because that's where all the poisons and everything coming from, y'all. But allegedly, let me say that, just for entertainment purposes only. Y'all know YouTube get the trip, and let's keep it going. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. My bad, y'all. That shit crazy, man. Word spells like a motherfucker. What's up, Voorhees?
Kanye said this, then disappeared.
Not taking the responsibility as a man. That's why I say the song Closed on Sunday is the hardest record ever made, as hard as the NWA record, because it's talking about protecting your kids from the indoctrination of the media, the thousands and thousands of images that are fed to children by the age of 6 or 7. And within those images, there are images mixed in that we don't know about as parents, that are purposely mixed in to lower the kids' superpower and esteem so that they can be more susceptible to consumption and feel that they need to consume and become a part of the robotic numeric system that controls so much of the media.
Wow.
I just had to say it like this. You can rewind it. And
that sounds like the regular Kanye right there, y'all. Like the new Kanye. I don't know. I feel like they might have cloned Kanye or something because he been tripping.
And then do research what I'm talking about.
How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
Kicked that old broken down pile of crap. Yeah. It's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the rest. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so fucking bad. So I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man. Right. A very tough guy.
This Goodwill is breaking federal laws.
Man, I know.
First off, these are free from USP.
Man, I know Goodwill is not selling those. Come on now. Come on now, Goodwill. I know y'all not selling the free mailing packages. What? Y'all already selling all the free shit we be donating to y'all? And I told my girl to stop donating them. She just took them some stuff like not too long ago, a few days ago. Like, where you taking? I'm taking it to the Goodwill. What? Man. Another big scam. They probably getting so much paper.
Second, it's federal property and illegal to sell these. Never buy these. Do better, Goodwill.
Things at $15. Why would I spend $15 on a pair of used pants?
This young lady is talking about going to Goodwill and how the prices are outrageous. That is one of the reasons why I do not donate to Goodwill anymore, because a long time ago, I would say it was like 3-4 years ago, my family and I, we go feed the homeless every Thanksgiving, Christmas, and things like that. And one year it was really cold, so I wanted to get some blankets for the homeless. So I went through my home and I grabbed a bunch of clothes from Cyrus and Am, and I was like, let's go donate this and see if we can trade it for some blankets for the homeless. So I go to Goodwill. I had 3 big bags of clothes to donate. I asked to speak to the manager. I told her, can I trade these clothes for some warm blankets? I feed the homeless and it's really cold. I want to give it to them. She's like, no, we don't do that. Then she proceeded to tell me I can still donate the clothes, but she's not trading it for blankets. After that, I never donated to Goodwill again. I donate to the Women's Shelter and to Salvation Army. Okay. Goodwill's all about money and they get all donations.
It was proof.
Yeah, man, fuck Goodwill, y'all. That's crazy. They're supposed to be for the good of the people. They're supposed to be helping out and everything. How the fuck y'all selling free shit that people donating? Like, that don't even sound right. They should get in trouble for that shit. What's up, everybody? Fruit bowl. You're so funny, man. Let's keep it going.
At the turn of the century that the human body is almost 80%, 90% water, and it's also got electrolytes in it, which we know to be salt, potassium, different minerals. That means we're a salt battery. No different than the car battery, different than something like that. And there's a patent actually called the Cali Patent, which I'll hold up here for the camera to see. And this patent actually was developed in 1897, and not much has been done with it, because at that time everyone was afraid of electricity. In this case, Dr. Clark developed a product using a 9-volt battery. And I'll just show you in the back here. There it is, 9-volt battery. And this particular unit, you just snap on your wrist with 2 wristbands.
We'll have a minute. Yeah.
You snap it on your wrist just to prove that I'm a circuit. I push the little green light, and the thing is on. And if I put my hands together, you can hear that I'm a circuit, and I'm a closed circuit at this point.
Wow.
Now with
Why
that,
do we get a sound when you put your hands together?
because I've closed the circuit. Now when I take my hands apart, obviously the electricity is now being able to flow through the body. The electricity can't go through the digestive tract, so in the digestive tract, to kill the microorganisms, the specific parasites, she's found the effectiveness of the black walnut, what the native Indians used for cleansing many years ago. The black walnut, in its green hull form, kills many of the microorganisms. Wow. And in conjunction with another product called wormwood, and cloves, typical cloves that you would get at the store, these 3 in combination have the ability to go in and kill all the pathogens. Now, what's most interesting is the Mexican people have the lowest incidence of cancer anywhere on the planet. And the reason is they kill the ascaris with this particular product here, we all know to be the jalapeno pepper. And those seeds of the jalapeno pepper, only 10 or 15 seeds twice a day, have the ability to kill the ascaris, which she found to be a major cause of why the body loses oxygen at the tumor sites. And to kill that, you use the jalapeno seeds, and then you back that up with a little ozonated olive oil.
How are you so certain that each time you have...
We use scanning techniques and we do blood tests. You can tell if a tumor has shrunk or not, but I realized this kind of criticism would come along, and that's why I saved 50 sets of x-rays before and after and all the blood tests, and that's what I published in the last book.
Now, this is where you really...
Man, and this a old interview, y'all. Man, I'm about to start eating black walnuts. And I'll already be eating jalapenos, but I need to start eating them some more. I don't be wanting to tell y'all about all the good stuff, man. Not at all. I want to keep everything a secret. If it's gonna be healthy and help you, they do not want that. They're like, nah, hell no, don't tell them that. We want them to be sick. We want the motherfuckers coming in the doctor's office. We're trying to get some of that money. But salute to everybody in the building. Make sure I hit that like button, y'all. Let's finish it up. Check out these last videos about preserving your body. Now, this crazy.
We stave off death through the power of cryonics. I've come to Scottsdale, Arizona to find out. Welcome to the Alcor Life Extension Foundation, the self-proclaimed world leader in cryonics. For just under $250,000, Alcor is selling a second chance at life. The Alcor team looks after nearly 200 people who are waiting to take that second chance. One small catch: every person preserved here has been pronounced clinically dead. But to Alcor, that's just a technicality.
Our best estimates are that within 50 to 100 years, we will have the medical technologies needed to restore our patients to health and function.
What?
The team at Alcor...
Man, so they got some, y'all. I can pass. I can cross over tomorrow, y'all, and that preserve my body. But I kind of understand this, because in the future, don't y'all think that have something out to where they can? Well, they got it now. They like, I'm pretty sure people they can make everything work, except unless you just got exploded or blew up type shit or something. But in the future, they probably come up with some machine or something and everything. We already got AI and all that stuff coming about. So this crazy. My bad, y'all. This shit crazy, y'all. Med beds, yeah.
Or refers to its customers as patients. And just like patients in a hospital, Alcor hopes that in the future, they'll be restored to full health. When they arrive, each body or patient, depending on how you look at it, goes through a technical process to increase their chances of survival on the other side. They're treated with chemicals and drugs, carefully cooled, lowered into a giant steel vat of liquid nitrogen, and stored at minus 196 degrees Celsius, all in the hope that one day they will live again.
Wow.
Alcor's offices are simple enough, but in the middle of this building is possibly the strangest and most unsettling thing I've ever seen. A field of stainless steel tanks holding the bodies and heads of 170 dead people, frozen in stasis.
How many people in each one of these?
Each one of these has approximately 9 patients, 4 whole body patients around the outside, and then there's a stack in the middle which holds 5 neuro patients.
Yes.
Man, they got bodies in there, y'all. Them are dead bodies in there that they talking about they gonna restore in the future and bring back the full health. Do y'all hear this? Man, it's crazy, man. JB, you went live early throwing me off. Yeah, JB, we was ducking you, man. We was dodging you. We went live early because we were scared you was gonna come in here and get to talking crazy. No, I'm just playing with you, man. It's all love. Beautiful eyes was good. Let's keep it going. Jax was good.
Neuro patients, people who elected just to preserve their heads. Not only is it less expensive, it also saves on space.
That would be the neurocan that the patient is in, and it of course has identification on it.
Would you have this done? Let me know.
Each of these vessels is known as a doer, a custom-designed insulated tank that's filled with liquid nitrogen and computer-controlled to preserve the body's inside. They're massive, even considering how many bodies and heads they contain. But these doers have been designed to protect Alcor's patients for decades.
Why are they so tall? I can't help but think that I'm not that tall.
There's a lot of insulation, both around, underneath, and on top. These lids do come off.
Hey, this right over in Arizona, y'all. Shit, you can go preserve your body right next door in Arizona, y'all.
The insulation on the lid comes down almost to here. Wow. And people often ask us what happens if the electricity goes out. It doesn't matter for our patients. We do have backup generators to keep our computers running and that sort of thing. But these patients are in liquid nitrogen. It just sits there at minus 196 Celsius. We don't have to cool it. The patients are not damaged in any way by a power outage.
It's hard to imagine who would want to sign up for cryonics. I figured it would just be sci-fi mad doomsdayers or ultra-rich billionaires. But the photos of patients that line Alcor's walls point to a pretty normal-looking clientele. More than 1,200 people have signed up for Alcor's services. Of the 170 patients, roughly 3/4 are men. But otherwise, it's a fairly even spread. Retirees, mums and dads, even a very young girl.
She had brain cancer and her parents had her preserved. They wanted to come over and do a Buddhist ceremony, so we put her picture on the capsule for them to have that ceremony. My husband is in this doer right here, and so I come in every now and then and say, "Hi Fred, how you doing?"
That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy.
Okay, let's get this out of the way. The science behind cryonics is completely unproven. It's highly experimental. Experts say there's no way to perfectly preserve the human brain or reverse the biological finality of death. But for Alcor, being declared clinically and legally dead isn't the end.
Legal death only really means that your heart and your lungs have stopped functioning without intervention. Doesn't mean your cells are dead. It doesn't mean even your organs are dead. Up until maybe 30 or 40 years ago, most people in medicine thought that death was an event, on-off switch. You're either alive or you're dead. It's now pretty well understood that it's a process. It takes hours after your heart and lungs stop functioning for you to really be totally dead.
Alcor says if you intervene...
Man, this crazy, y'all. Just like a scary movie or something, man. Wow.
early enough and preserve the body as quickly as possible after death.
Wow. And people often ask us what happens if the electricity goes out. It doesn't matter for our patients. We do have backup generators to keep our computers running and that sort of thing. But these patients are in liquid nitrogen. It just sits there at minus 196 Celsius. We don't have to cool it. The patients are not damaged in any way by a power outage.
It's hard to imagine who would want to sign up for cryonics. I figured it would just be sci-fi mad doomsdayers or ultra-rich billionaires. But the photos of patients that line Alcor's walls... When a patient arrives, they're brought into Alcor's facility for stabilization. This room kind of feels like a cross between a hospital and a morgue. The initial process varies depending on how long the patient has been dead and whether they were placed on ice before arriving. But here, the goal is to start cooling the body as quickly as possible. And for that, they go into a sort of post-death life support.
The patient is placed in the ice bath and then covered with additional crushed ice. The patient is intubated to restore the lung function and oxygenation to the blood. There's a mechanical thumper, which is placed on the patient's chest so that the blood starts circulating.
Peas and beans and squash and peppers and whatnot. We wanted to live to be 100 with no aches and pains, and we didn't do the same thing for ourselves that we did for those calves. And as a teenager, this was very fascinating for me. And I always used to ask my dad, I'd say, hey, Pops, how come we go to all that trouble for those calves? We grind up their feed, add vitamins and minerals and trace minerals, and feed them for 6 to 9 months, knock them in the head and eat them. And we, out of those very same fields, don't do that for ourselves. And of course, being a Missouri farmer, he'd give me a lot of Missouri farm wisdom. He'd say things like, shut up, boy. Don't ask complicated questions. So I was glad when I got rid of that farm exercise and went to the University of Missouri and got into ag school. My major was in animal husbandry and nutrition. My minor was in field crops and soils. As a veterinary student, what I learned was the reason we put vitamins and minerals and trace minerals into animal feeds is because we don't have insurance for them. We don't have Blue Cross, Blue Shield, major medical hospitalization. We don't have Medicare, Medicaid, or a Hillary to watch out for them. And as a result, if we were to use a human healthcare type of system for livestock, it'd be a real sticker shock for most people. Because of the veterinary care, the hamburger would cost $275 a pound, and boneless, skinless chicken breast would be $450 a pound. The National Institutes of Health had given him $7.5 million to study pollution in the mid-60s. This is when we first recognized that there was pollution in our air, in our water, and our food, and nobody quite knew what that meant over a long period of time. I had to do autopsies of animals that died of natural causes in the big zoos around the United States, and I was to look for a species of animals that was ultra-sensitive to pollution. And we were going to use that species of animals much like the old coal miners used to use a canary. You know, they take the canary down the mine, and the canary would act as an early warning system if methane gas or carbon monoxide would leak out into the mine. We're going to take these animals and put them in little strategic spots all around the world and pay attention to them, and if they started dying, we knew we were in danger. Well, to make a long story short, after some 12 years working at the St. Louis Zoo and the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago, the Bronx Zoo in New York, the National Zoo in D.C., the L.A. Zoo, and many other big ones throughout the United States, I'd done some 17,500 autopsies in over 454 species of animals, plus 3,000 human beings who lived in close proximity to the zoos for a comparison. And what I learned was pretty frightening. Every one of those animals and every one of the people who died of natural causes died of a nutritional deficiency disease.
Wow.
And I couldn't get anybody excited about those findings because we had just put men on the moon. We had a high-tech Cold War going on with the Soviets. And so talking about nutritional deficiency diseases 35 years ago in America was pretty low on everybody's totem pole. But I knew it was important, so I got frustrated enough. I went back to school for 4 years up in Portland, Oregon, became a physician, and I practiced for 12 years in a general family practice. A human being has the genetic capacity, the capability of living healthfully to be 120 to 140, and I'm going to prove that to you in a second. When the World Health Organization kind of looked at the top 32 industrialized nations on Earth and said, how long do these people live? Who lives the longest? We ranked 17th in longevity. There's actually 16 other countries whose peoples who live longer than we did. These are industrialized nations now. Then we ranked 19th in healthfulness. That means there was 18 other countries whose peoples live longer than we do before they develop diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, osteoporosis, and so forth. We ranked 23rd in live births and first year survivability of our... Now, just very briefly, these cultures include the mountain tribes of Tibetans, and these people were made famous in 1933 at the death of a fellow by the name of Wu Li, and he was born in 1677. If you're quick with numbers, you'll notice that he died at age 256, and when he was 106...
The moral of the story is our fucking food, water, everything, air is all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They decreasing our life spans and feeding us all this crazy stuff, making us stay sick, making us die, whatever. All this type of stuff. And then you can go and preserve your body right over in Arizona. And I guess down the line in the future, they're going to bring you back to full health. Man, this shit crazy. Super crazy. But it's been proven. My man lived 256 years old. I don't know how true this is, but hey, it's crazy. I'll be happy to make it to 100.
The Chinese imperial government began publishing his birth dates and birthday parties every year for 150 years. When he died, his obituary was in every newspaper in the world because he'd been tracked for many, many years and everybody knew him. And a year after he died, a Pulitzer Prize-winning book was published for which his life was the inspiration for this book. It was called Lost Horizon. And many of you will recall that story in that book. It talked about the Valley of Shangri-La, where people could live to be over 200. Eastern Pakistan, the Hunzas are legendary for living healthily to be over 120. And then during the 1970s, Dannon yogurt made the Russian Georgians famous. Some of you remember that ad. Prior to this ad, nobody could spell yogurt in America, and afterwards, of course, everybody wanted it. This is where a 140-year-old guy from Russian Georgia wore all his medals, held up a big saber in one hand and had a cup of Dannon yogurt in the other hand, smiled a lot and waved it around. You're supposed to believe that it was Dannon yogurt that made him live to be 140. It was a very impressive ad because he had his son standing next to him who was 120, and his grandson who was 100, and his great-grandson who was 80, and so forth. So it was a very believable ad. Then after the breakup of the Soviet Union a few years ago, we began learning about other cultures in that same mountain range, the Caucasus Mountains, the Azerbaijanis, Abkhazians, Turkestanis, and the Russians studied all of these people for some 70 years and literally wrote thousands of scientific papers on their physical exams and their diets and blood tests and hair analysis, trying to figure out what it was that made these people special, because they were different races, different religions, but they had the common denominator of health and longevity.
I know exactly what made them different. They eating some good food, if they eating, and they got some good water. They ain't getting they wasn't getting poisoned with all this bullshit in the food and everything. It's crazy. And then they start young. They get on us young, y'all. They use the media. They manipulate us and program our minds. We think one thing. We grow up eating all this crazy stuff. We become addicted to these foods, you know what I'm saying? The ads and all that stuff on media is just making us just turn into zombies for it. Then we getting sick. Then we going to the doctor. They pockets just keep getting fatter and fatter. Then we end up passing. And now they got some shit where you can cash out before you even pass so they can preserve your body and bring you back 50, 40 years from now. Supposedly, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? And you come back to full health. Man, it's crazy where we living in, y'all. But I appreciate everybody who tapped in. Much love to everybody, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Hey, y'all, stay on wave. Keep that good energy around. Stay vibrating in those high frequencies. Hey, y'all, stay cool, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate the content management, moderators, everybody. I'll see y'all soon. It's your boy Thao, FamOverTV. Peace.
Fam over.